my least favourite subject in Year 12 was accounting.
That is hilarious.
I know.
Joining us on the podcast today is Matthew Holden. Matthew's been a partner at Brentnalls SA since 2012.
What I brought to the table with health professionals was of significant value to them.
Matthew has extensive experience and has assisted many clients in taxation services and business advisory.
Especially with doctors, time is money. 2 hours spent with us is 2 hours they're not seeing patients. So, and plus they get a bill from us at the end of it as well. So they hit twice. So
Matthew has a special interest in and specialises in working with medical professionals, including GPs, veterinary surgeons, and dentists.
Hi, I'm Matthew Holden from Brentnalls SA Chartered Accountants, and I'm excited to be on the Accountants on Purpose podcast today.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bartholomew's from Legal. The Accountants on Purpose podcast showcases inspiring accountants who are leaders in their field.
And then it just came to me like a bolt of blue.
What makes them tick?
Love it.
How did they get to where they are?
I want to inspire.
And what do they do now for their teams, their clients, and the world? Matthew, what's your favourite quote?
I've got a favourite quote and a favourite story.
Okay.
So I'll start with my favourite quote. My favourite quote is, "If not me, then who? If not now, then when?" And I'd love to tell you all the story about who said it first and where it comes from, but I don't know enough about that. But it just it was something that I saw that just hit me every time you walk past something that you're not happy with, and every time you see something that needs to be done, but you don't do anything about it. You just sort of stop and think and you go, well, if it's not me that's going to do something about it, then who is? And if we're not going to do it now, then when's it going to be done? And if the answer to that is somebody else and sometime else, then it's not that important and not to let it worry you too much.
I remember once having a really hard time in my business and just thinking, I should just go and get a job.
Yep.
Like, this is hard. Everything about it was hard at that stage. And that quote was what got me to thinking, no, my industry needs changing. The world needs changing. And if I'm not prepared to do that, then who will?
Yeah. And especially when you're young in your career and you got your whole life ahead of you. And sometimes you do want to take on the whole world but sometimes it's a good way to ground you to say, it's not that important, which is great. It's just as important to say, no, what I've got now is good and I want to preserve that as well as sort of taking on the world. But it's also a great call to arms as well, personal responsibility. If you're not prepared to do something about something that's bothering you, then it can't really be bothering you that much. Yeah.
What's the story?
So the story is, in the last sort of 12 months, I've become a bit of a Springsteen fan.
Yes.
I cursed myself that I became a fan after he toured Australia. So
you missed it.
So my bucket list is still empty for Bruce, but one day, hopefully, hopefully he'll be back, or maybe I'll just have to go see him over there.
That could be
maybe. Fun. So I've just been getting into all of the songs, but he did his Springsteen on Broadway show, which from what I've heard was supposed to be a very small show. It ended up being sort of huge, ran all year, and it's really just him. I think he brings his wife out for a few songs as well, but it's effectively just him and a guitar and a piano telling stories, singing his songs. And ended up buying his book and reading his book afterwards as well, because there's a lot
You are a fanboy.
Yeah, I get obsessed sometimes. But being an accountant, being a numbers man, I remember watching the show, which was on Netflix. I'm not quite sure if it's still on there, but he tells a story about, he starts it off with 1 + 1 = 2. He says, get out of bed is 1, go to work's 1, go home, go to bed is 2. 1 + 1 = 2. And he says that's the grind. That's the day to day. And often what we do in work is telling our clients 1 + 1 = 2. Now we say, you made $100 today, there's $100 in your bank account. It all makes sense, everything balances up. But that's not magic. He says the magic comes when 1 + 1 = 3. And that 1 + 1 = 3 moment it's music, it's family, it's friends, it's food, it's art. It's just that stuff that you can't actually put your finger on and you can't put on a balance sheet and you can't put an equation. That just makes you makes the grind days worthwhile. So, on a Wednesday in Adelaide where it's pretty cold and you've got a lot of work to do, even though I love what I do, I've got my daughter's netball on Saturday morning, and I've got a football match to watch on Saturday afternoon, and that gives me my 1 + 1 = 3. That makes the hard times worthwhile.
Love it. I brought you a quote on a tea towel.
Okay.
These are money can't buy you legal tea towels.
Beautiful.
This is here it is, Rory. Do small things with great love, Mother Teresa.
That's beautiful.
Love's one of the new legal values. So
small things are underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dishes are one of those.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dishes are overrated.
Do you have a hobby?
Music, surprisingly. Being a Springsteen fan, I go to the gym to listen to music, mainly because my wife and I can't agree on what music to listen to. Oh, yeah. We have the most eclectic Spotify mix in the sense that we'll have Wiggles mixed with some whatever my wife listens to, and then a bit of Springsteen and Metallica thrown in. So when you got Spotify, at the end of the year, they'll give you your top 100 playlist of all your songs. And so it'll be a bit of Metallica, a bit of Guns N' Roses, and then Peppa Pig will just show up. And so that sort of keeps you real.
Mix it up. I noticed they've started doing the daily mix for you, like what they think you'll like. Yeah. So that must be pretty entertaining in your house too. Oh,
yeah. They give you a few different options, and you got to make sure you pick the right one. Otherwise, it's a pretty long car ride while you're listening. So I like to, I go for a run. I'll go to the gym at night time. I find, sometimes when you have a pretty stressful day and a busy day, you can either go home and just collapse on the couch, eat a bag of chips or have a beer or something. And sometimes you got to do that. But often I'll say, look, even if I don't feel like it, just put the gym clothes on, get in the car, and before my mind's registered, hey, this is actually going to be a bit of hard work and I don't really want to do this, you're on the treadmill and you go, well, I'm here now, let's finish this off. I've never gone home from the gym going,
I wish I never
went. Whereas I've eaten a bag of chips and gone, probably could have not eaten that. But
made a better choice.
Then, it's in there now.
Too late now. What drives you within your profession as an accountant?
Look, at the end of the day, it's my clients that drive me. I work in public practice. I work with a lot of small business owners, individuals, and I'm really driven by the people behind the work that I do. I've got some clients who our relationship started via email or via phone call, and it never really kicks into gear until you meet face to face, or at least have a phone call or a teleconference or something like that. You just get to see what's behind the person. Otherwise, it's it goes back to that grind again. You're completing some
very
forms.
Transactional.
And you're going through the process. But then when you actually have a conversation, you start to realise that there's a purpose to what you're doing, and it won't be the same for everybody. Some people might think it's all about making profits, making as much money as possible, but I think my most successful clients are those who haven't had that as their one and true goal.
Main driver.
They've been well-rounded, had other values and other things that they're pursuing, and the growth and the success came from that.
Cool. You have a special interest in the medical industry as well. Why is that? Does it go back to a similar reason?
In a way, in our profession, you take the opportunities that are in front of you. And when I first became a partner, the partner who I worked alongside with had a lot of medical professional clients, and so I got the exposure that way. But I also had a lot of farming clients, a lot of manufacturing clients and professional service clients as well. So it wasn't solely health clients that I had a focus on, but I found that my skills and what I brought to the table with health professionals was of significant value to them. Numbers are important, finances are important, but a doctor doesn't make money from their bookkeeping. They don't make money from doing a BAS or from liaising with their bank. They make money from treating patients. And so if they can concentrate on that and leave the other stuff to us, and as long as we've got that all under control, then they're better prepared to do what they love.
Yeah.
I've never met actually I have met a couple of doctors that love doing their bookkeeping, but that's okay. But at the end of the day, their passion, what they've chosen to do is not what we do. So we do what we do best, and we provide value in that regard and allow them to do what they do best.
Awesome. What are your success habits? Running and not eating chips.
Right. Trying. Yeah. With technology as it is today, it's a blessing and a curse in a way, in the sense that you've always got, my phone's going off in my pocket right now with messages and everything. So you can log in from home. You can always work. So what I try to do is compartmentalize my time. I can answer emails at home at night time once the kids are in bed. I can sit down with a file in front of me and read reports and do calculations and writings and stuff like that. The hours between 9 and 5, your typical business hours, that's when I want to make phone calls. That's when I want to have meetings. That's when I need to interact with people. My clients don't want to hear from me at 11 o'clock at night, not from a phone call anyway.
Although doctors do work unusual hours.
They do. And part of working with health professionals is being open towards that. Many meetings at 8 o'clock on a weeknight or catching up on the weekend, because that's the only time to do it.
They're free, yeah.
And especially with doctors, time is money. 2 hours spent with us is 2 hours they're not seeing patients.
True.
So, and plus they get a bill from us at the end of it as well. So they hit twice. So, so I guess my success habit is just trying to be disciplined about the work that I do. When I'm there during the day, it really is about people interaction, and using some downtime at night time, and benefiting from the technology that's available to us now to actually keep everything else up to speed. And the great thing about technology as well is, I can drop my kids off at school in the morning if I need to help out. I can go home early so other family members can go to an appointment. It's not the old days where you had to be in the office at 8 o'clock and work there till 6, because you can do work out of hours. But it is a curse in a way. You've got to be disciplined about how you approach that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I have 3 young kids and a mortgage, so I'm not going anywhere. So in 5 years' time, I hope my kids are a little bigger and my mortgage is a little smaller, I guess.
That's a good way to think about it.
And look, I think back of where I was 5 years ago and what I sort of learned and where I've come from then. So I hope as far as I've grown the last 5 years, I've continued to grow the next 5 years. I think the day where I think I've done it all and I've peaked is the day that I sort of walk out of the office and go, okay, now it's time to hand over to someone else. So there's plenty of time for that, I think. I love what I do. I love Adelaide. I love my clients here. So there's no...
But you help clients all around Australia. So
yeah, we do.
That's the benefit of the technology.
Absolutely. And it's so easy to get around now. I mean, we've got clients, even clients based in the country, where it's just as easy to see a client in Melbourne and Sydney as it is to go see a client in Millicent or Mount Gambier.
Yeah.
So, and it's no skin off our nose. It's part of the business. Plenty of people have to fly for work, and a lot of what we do now can be done electronically as well. So some of the more transactional, paper-driven stuff it's no different working a client in Brisbane versus working a client down at Glenelg. They don't really want to come into Adelaide to see me, and that I perfectly understand. Yeah, but I'm in Melbourne this Monday coming up for a meeting. I'll be in Sydney in October, and I'll sure be a couple of trips in between as well. And it's the nature of the beast, and I enjoy that aspect of it as well. It's nice to sometimes get
mix
away.
it up.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which living person do you most admire? And you can't say Bruce Springsteen.
Don't they say never to meet your heroes?
Do they? Do they just let you down?
Well, I think at the end of the day, everyone's human, aren't they? So, and especially when it comes to public people, you only see what they want you to see. So I'm more inspired by people I see when I walk around the streets or when I'm
life.
Yeah, and look, it's more just the accounting profession, a bit like the law profession, like the health profession. It's high stress. Need to be. It never stops. It's very hard, and it's the sort of thing where if you're not careful, it can impact other parts of your life. So I get inspired by the people I come across who are very good at what they do professionally, they're good to their family, they're looking after themselves health-wise, and they just seem to have it together. Now, again, behind the curtain, they might have issues. Most people do, but if they can keep it all together and be good to their clients, be good to themselves, good to their family and friends, then that's
two thumbs up from you.
That's all I need to be inspired by. And if you can sing some cool songs or play soccer, I'm even more so.
That's a bonus.
Yeah.
I met Oprah a few years ago.
Did you really?
Yes, and that was incredible.
Yeah.
She was exactly like she was on TV.
Yeah. I've got to admit, we saw Hugh Jackman on the weekend, just like half of Adelaide did.
I'm so jealous.
I said to my wife there, I said, he is the most together person, I think, in the history of the world. Just someone who just looks like nothing bothers him at all. I hate it.
He's incredible.
He is.
My husband has a man crush on him.
Yeah, I think most blokes do.
Yeah. He's got that manly Wolverine side.
Yeah.
And then he's got the
actually,
cool, calm, collected, sensitive side too, doesn't he?
He said at the start of the show, just talking about the blokes in the audience, he goes, if you guys are only here for Wolverine, it's going to be a long show for you. And I said, that was me. I knew maybe one or two songs of the whole thing, but it was still good fun.
And nevertheless, very entertaining, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What keeps you awake at night?
The thing that keeps me awake at night is really my children and my kids. And
because they're awake or because you worry about them?
Yeah, probably both. Life is tough, when we went to school. But you could come home, you could put your bag down and play a bit of Nintendo or whatever and just sort of get away from it, whereas kids can't get away from it these days. And look, I think being a parent anyway is, you're always racked with sort of doubt as to what you're doing, and are you doing the right thing or the wrong thing, and what are they going to be like in the future. But look, that's really what keeps me awake, just making sure that they're happy, successful. I'm happy if they want to take on the world and be absolute successes in their field. I'm happy if they want to get a reasonable job and have a happy family and just enjoy the suburban life, whatever they want to do that makes them happy. But it's really their happiness that is really what if they can achieve, then I think I would have done a good job.
What would you tell 18-year-old Matthew if you could talk to him today?
18-year-old Matthew was in year 12, and I found out when we did our 10-year reunion at school, we completed a bit of a questionnaire, bit of a time capsule thing, and my least favourite subject in year 12 was accounting.
That is hilarious.
I know. So everyone was asking me what I did at my reunion. I said, I'm an accountant. And they said, but...
You didn't like the subject?
I think it was... I couldn't tell you what it was. But, I mean, with accounting, I still ended up doing commerce and finance at uni. And then I realised that all the best jobs in the job ads that I wanted needed an accounting qualification. So I think I just didn't really understand what I wanted back at. And so I think I'd tell myself, look, you don't know all the answers and you're not expected to. You don't know the sort of person you're going to become. And don't beat yourself up about it. Just enjoy what you got in front of you.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the podcast today. If you're still listening, you can find the show notes on our website, ulegal.com.au. You're welcome to go ahead and subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with anyone that you think might benefit from it, anyone that you think is open to helping us create a world with a purpose that's higher than profit. If you're an accountant on purpose, feel free to find our Facebook page and join our community.